Hockey's back, y'all! Welcome to my preview of tonight's game between the Montreal Canadiens and the Pittsburgh Penguins in the 2020 qualifying round. That opens today. As a matter of fact, got the Rangers and Carolina game on the TV over there, but I'm not going to pay attention while I'm filming. All right, everybody, so we got real hockey, meaningful hockey, means something today. It's not an exhibition game. It's not anything like that. It's not Phase 3. It's not anything. It's Phase 4. Meaningful hockey. Okay, enough about that. So we've got the Montreal Canadiens taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins will be the home team tonight, even though it's not in Pittsburgh. And I guess let's get right into it. I've got everything laid out here. It's a little different look if you watch my videos. This is a totally different look for the previews. And hopefully you guys like it. And we're going to get right into it now. So Montreal, Pittsburgh. Montreal was 31-31-9. Good enough for what 500, what is considered 500 in the NHL, because really they were 31-40. But hey, we're not really going to talk about that, I guess. The last 10 games that they played, 4-5-1. They scored 212 goals and gave up 221. 19 of their 31 wins were in regulation, and they were 5th in the Atlantic. On the Pittsburgh side, 40-23-6. For a 623 clip. Last 10, they were 3-7-0, so they struggled a bit going in their last 10 games. They didn't know it was their last 10 games they were going to play for the season, but 224 goals for and 196 goals against, so their offense was good, their defense was good. And that's, you know, they had so many injuries. I mean, just, I guess kudos to the coach and their depth, because they had so many injuries. For them to have those kind of numbers, it's awesome, really. So Montreal, Pittsburgh, some stats head-to-head. Montreal was 1-1-1. Pittsburgh was 2-1-0. The Corsi percentage, that's basically puck possession. Montreal 54.4% for second in the league, and Pittsburgh 50.9% for ninth in the league. Goals per game, 2.93 for Montreal for 19th, and 3.20 for the Penguins for 10th. Goals against per game, 3.10, again for 19th, and 2.84 for 12th for Pittsburgh. Power play percentage, Montreal special teams were not great. You know, at times that power play was tops in the league, and it wavered up and down, and yeah, at the end it just came down. Good power play on the road. It's a road game for them tonight. I don't know if it's going to matter in this kind of situation, but it is. Their power play was actually really good on the road, totally sucky at home. 17.7% for 22nd. Penalty kill percentage was 78.7% for 19th. On the Pittsburgh side, 19.9% for the power play, 16th in the league, and 82.1% for the penalty kill, 10th in the league. Pittsburgh's numbers good. Montreal's not that great compared to Pittsburgh. Habs are the 5th youngest team at the Phase 4. I believe they're 26.4 years old on average. I don't know the Penguins' numbers, but they are one of the oldest teams right now in this Phase 4. December 10th, Montreal and Pittsburgh played. Then Montreal won 4-1. I think it was in Montreal. I should have got that where they played. January 4th, it was a 3-2 win for Pittsburgh, but it was an overtime win. So at this point, I mean, they're rather even. It's tight. And then if you consider February 14th, on my birthday, I think that was in Pittsburgh, 4-1 win for Pittsburgh. So it's really close. The season series, each won 4-1, and then there was that overtime game. So kind of close, and that could factor in here. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Goals for the season. Montreal 212, Pittsburgh 200 and that's numbers wrong. 224. Different sites, different numbers. Yeah, I saw 208 for Montreal, but Montreal has either 211 or 212 because I've seen all different numbers everywhere. It's kind of confusing. First period goals for Montreal 69, Pittsburgh 59 in the first period. Goals against, they both have given up 55 goals against in the first period. I've only got these, I don't have it broken down every period. I'm just giving you first period stuff. Shots on goal for the season, 2,422 for Montreal, 2,204 for Pittsburgh, so Montreal shoots a little more than Pittsburgh. In the first period, 804 shots in the first period for Montreal, as opposed to 691 for Pittsburgh. Shots against for the season, 2,208 for Montreal, 2,051 for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh gives up less shots than Montreal. In the first period, 745 for Montreal against and 655 for Pittsburgh against. Penalty minutes for the season, 546 for Montreal, 517 for Pittsburgh. In the first period, 164 for Montreal, 156 for Pittsburgh. Lions had practice on Friday, so today's Saturday, obviously, it's game day. So these are the lines. I don't know. I doubt I would find out any of the line combinations if they're practicing today. Imagine they are. Until it's too late to do a video, so I can't have those. Tatar Dino Gallagher, we know this. Drew and Suzuki Armia, those two lines have been the same all the way through Phase 3, have not changed, and I don't expect them to change. Byron KK Lehkonen for the third line. And the one I don't understand, I don't think, personally, it doesn't make sense, but I'll explain what I think Julian is, what his thought process is. He said it, so I'm not making it up. Weiss, Domi, and Wheel. I don't think it worked. They didn't look good against Toronto. I kind of found Domi running around a little bit too much, trying to do too much, and make up for the lack of talent on his winger side. I think Domi could be a lot more useful up on the third line, but that's the lines right now. Now, Julian says it's because he wants a very well-balanced roster because they don't know who's going to be matched up against Crosby-Malkin lines. They don't have the last change in the first two games, and quite frankly, that first game is going to be really key. If Montreal wants to win this series, I personally think they need to win this first game. So he's looking at how can I have the most balance and the most what's the word I want to look for? Talent on each line to face, depending, because they don't know who they're going to face. So it could be the fourth line going up against Malkin or going up against Crosby because they can't match lines. So he's trying to do that. I don't know if that works personally. I think you can have much better 1, 2, and 3 lines, and maybe you leave your fourth line to strictly energy or checking line. And I think you have to face it that way. Listen, if your fourth line is matched up against those guys, as soon as the pucks drop, they try to get off the ice and you throw out the line you want. I don't know if having Domi with Weiss and Wheel makes any sense to me personally. And we're going to find out what it looks like against, in a real game, not an exhibition game. On defense, Sherratt Weber, Kulak Petrie, and Willette and Mete are lined up together. I don't know that Willette and Mete will stick like that. I have a feeling we're going to find that third pairing is going to be probably... And Mete's on the right side, which I don't know. He's usually left. It's not that he can't play there, but I have a feeling you're going to see Mete slide there, and you'll see Juleson or Fleury there. Maybe not first game. Apparently Folin, I did hear that apparently Folin was practicing there as well yesterday, but I don't know about today. And Julian had said in an interview that he's going to kind of let everybody, they're going to make their final decisions on that pairing today. So we're going to find out game time. For the Penguins, it's Gensel, Crosby, Sheary, Zucker, Malkin, Russ. So these are the two guys. These two lines need to be neutralized somehow. We'll talk about it up there. Marlowe, McCann, Hornquist. I don't know a lot about McCann, but from what I hear about him, this guy's good, and this third line is going to be quite good. You got Marlowe, tons of experience. I'm sure he's got enough left for this series. And you got Hornquist, a guy that is definitely capable to put up some points. And on the fourth line, you got Aston Reese, Bluger, and Tanev. That's a line that's been together most of the season, apparently. A good, solid fourth line, and I think pretty balanced lineup, if you ask me. On defense, Dumoulin and Letang, Pedersen and Marino, and Johnson and Schultz. So I find you kind of got, it's a little bit like Montreal. You got this, Marino's going to be a good defenseman. He's a kid, he's a young rookie, but you got your 3 top guys and your 3 other guys. Pedersen didn't look great in their first game, and I think it matches up quite well that way, but there's a lot more experience, obviously, in winning cups and stuff like that on the Penguins roster. They've some of these guys have won 3 cups, and you can just tell from their season that with all their adversity, with all the injuries and all that, these guys still managed to stay 7th overall, I think, in the league, something like that. They should not really be in this position, but It's how it works out. They were 5th overall in the division. They were just outside the top 4. That's how it works out. In nets for Pittsburgh, not announced yet. Question mark. They're not going to find out till today, so we won't know. Now, for Montreal, obviously, in nets, I put Price because unless Price is injured and not, something happened to him, he's the one in nets. It's obvious. So we won't have to. But here it's not. I don't know if it's going to be Murray or Jarry. We'll find out at game time. Okay, so let's get into these are kind of keys to victory, and I've got some notes on line 1. I read a really good article by Mark Dumas. He's writing now for the NHL.com. Really good in-depth article. I think. Anyways, he wrote a lot about the first line, and I wrote some notes, and I'm going to just kind of read them because kind of stats and stuff like that about the first line. Now, the first line is one of the top lines in the league, especially 5-on-5 and for possession. They're right up there as a top line. Tatar, Danault, and Galley, as a trio, rank amongst the league's best at generating offense. They dominate at 5-on-5 play. They are one of the best puck control trios as well, controlling 62% of the shots, scoring chances, and goals. And that's an average because it's like 61, 63, and 62, so it's an average of 62%. Which is fantastic because what I read, I mean, if a line is like in the 50s, it's great, and they're in the 60s, so they're very dominant. Tatar and Galley have 22 goals each, so shots and scoring. That line is actually controlling on the team, is dominating as far as percentage of the goals scored for Montreal. They're just amazing numbers. They're plus 613 in shots, plus 143 in high danger chances, and plus 30 in goals. So they do this with chemistry and lots of it. All three are good players, but become great when they are lined up together. They create a near perfect balance on that line, and that is the truth. They're good to maybe great players, but when you put them together, they become amazing. That trio literally is one of the best lines in the league, and they can do it on both sides of the ice, and they just do everything. They're a great line. Tatar and Galley finished 1-2 in the league for being on the ice for a larger percentage of shots fired on the opposition's net. Galley leads all NHL forwards in 5-on-5 shots by a large margin over the last 3 seasons. He also leads in high danger chances, rush attempts, and rebounds created. And only Austin Matthews, Alex Ovechkin, and Leon Draisaitl have scored more 5-on-5 goals than Galley since 2017-2018. Anybody wondering about Brendan Gallagher? That's an amazing stat. He's like a small guy like that, but he's got such heart, such drive. He never gives up, and look how it pays off. 4th in the league over the last 3 seasons in 5-on-5 high danger chances. Rush attempts, rebounds created, all that. He's amazing. So that's line 1. My notes on line 1. Keys to victory for me. So I wrote these up. I'll give you the line, and I'll wrote you the line I wrote here, and I'll read you what I wrote here. So neutralize Crosby and Malkin lines. That's obvious. They have to neutralize Crosby and Malkin, limit their chances, and force the bottom 6 to provide the needed offense. If they can neutralize these 2 guys, now that's going to really depend on the proper matchup. I don't expect it to happen if they're matched up against the 3rd and 4th lines. I just don't expect it to happen. There's going to be some scoring. But if somehow Julian can get Danault or Suzuki against these two lines and keep them pretty much at bay, it's going to force that bottom 6 to have to score, obviously, put up some points. Back check effectively and force the Pens to the outside. They got to own the middle of the ice and limit the dangerous chances on Price. Now, obviously, back checking, if anyone's not sure, that means back in their defensive zone. So the forwards have to keep coming back and handling things back there. Have patience. Have patience and wait for the openings and mistakes. Everyone is still rusty and mistakes will happen. So really, if they have some patience, just try to play their game and wait for the openings, because if you watched any of the preseason of the exhibition games, you can see that they're rusty. Nobody seems to be right on, although Tampa looked really good. Nobody seems to be 100% ready. They've had 2 weeks of training camp, not enough after a 4.5-month layoff. So, if you're patient, the other team will make mistakes. But it's going to be the same thing. I mean, Pittsburgh can do the same. Montreal will make mistakes as well. But hopefully they can play this series without doing that too much. Don't try to force offensive plays in the offensive zone. Domi especially is guilty of this, and with the talent level of his wingers, he's trying to do too much and be everywhere at once. This was a complaint I read a couple places, that he was all over the ice. He's trying to do too much. He doesn't have enough talent on his wings, and that's why I said I don't think this well-balanced 4 lines is going to work out. If you don't have the personnel, you don't. And you can't really force it, in my opinion. And I think Domi would be much better served being on the left wing on the 3rd line. That's my personal opinion. Discipline. Discipline. Play a controlled and disciplined style while the Pens power play. Hang on, let me do that over again. Play a controlled and disciplined style while the Pens power play isn't clicking yet. Because it's not. You don't want to give them the opportunity to get it going either by taking penalties. So try not to take penalties. Don't let them get their power play clicking by having it out there a lot. Also, I think there's another thing on that. I had something else. I guess here, for Montreal's power play, it might be the opposite. Don't draw penalties. Montreal's a top team when it comes to the 5-on-5 play, and they will need to dominate the Pens' top lines 5-on-5 with puck control and possession time. And you saw against Toronto that power play is not looking good. They gave up 2 shorties against Toronto, and maybe it does behoove them to not draw penalties and keep as much 5-on-5 time as possible, because that power play sucks. Now, you could say, if they don't get any chances or opportunities on the power play, then how are they going to get any better? And maybe you're right there, but I don't know. Unless it's so much better in the last 3 days, that power play did not look good. And we saw at the end of the season, at the end before they shut down, that power play was going downhill fast. Play a 60-minute game. Every second they're out on the ice. The energy level and speed of play must be at peak level. No half-hearted attempts to get back or chase down an attacker. And you saw it, and my favorite guy, Suzuki, I saw it in the exhibition game, Even though you don't think you can catch the guy, you never know. You got to keep going right till the last second. You can't have those, I'll go after him. It's not going to work. You're basically in playoff hockey here, and you got to just go from the minute you're on the ice till you get off for your shift. You got to go. Everybody has to up their level of play at least a notch, and that is going to be important here. All the guys, everybody along the all 4 lines, all 3 pairings, you got to up your level of play a notch. You got to step it up. And if you want to win, that's the only way, because quite frankly, we can't match them for talent. Talent for talent, we can't match them. Everybody's got to lift it a little bit. Easy for me to say, I get it, but that's what's got to happen. Julien must adjust. Claude Julien must adjust when needed. And, he seems to get stuck on certain guys, which we know wheel on the power play, and strategies, and he'll need to grow as a coach and grow quickly. I don't find he adjusts enough. And it seems like against Toronto, everything was the same, and I didn't see much differences. So unless it's just because they haven't had the time, because of the short camp, it's not clicking yet. It's not, hopefully a few days later, it might be. But if not, he's going to have to adjust. And one of those adjustments might mean putting Evans in the 4th line center role and shifting Domi over to the wing, dumping off Wheel or Weist, probably Weist, and putting Byron up there. And that's my opinion. And I think he's going to have to adjust if things start to go bad. Carey Price. Next page. Carey Price must avoid his typical slow start. As of late, in the last few seasons, he has had that slow start where he doesn't really seem to be Carey Price until November, December. Can't have that here. He's had 4.5 months off. That's a typical off season. So it's kind of like his body might even tell him, like, hey, it's a new season. We'll get going slow, a little bit better. Can't do that here. From the drop of the puck, he's going to have to be better. And winning the first game is going to be crucial, as I said earlier, if you want to win the series. That's my opinion. First game, and especially in a 5-game series, you don't have that extra 2 games. They got to come out of the gate quick and win. Because if they can win that first game, it puts Pittsburgh a little bit off balance, and I think it makes a big difference. Second point on the power play, they absolutely must fix their power play. Find a quarterback, Suzuki, KK, each unit, because I think that's how it's going to end up. So for each line, I should have said unit, and change up the strategy of look for Weber, pass, look for Weber, pass, look for. Not going to work. Every team knows it and waiting for it and can defend against it because they know what's happening. So they have to absolutely change up that power play. One of the points about Julian, I was expecting a really different look power play, and we didn't really get that in the exhibition game. It's going to need to be. Scoring depth, secondary and tertiary. Scoring could play a big role in a short series like this. If Montreal can get some scoring from the bottom 6 guys, or whoever's matched up with against the Penguins shutdown guys. So it doesn't matter who's matched up against the lines that are supposed to shut you down. We're going to need some scoring against those guys because I personally think whatever line's playing against Crosby or Malkin, I mean, you're concentrating on shutting them down. I don't see where a ton of offense might come from. There will be mistakes. There might be some chances, but I don't see where a ton of offense comes from. You got to look at the matchups on the bottom 2 lines, and you got to get that secondary and tertiary scoring going. It'll go a long way to being a difference between winning and losing for Montreal in a matchup like this. And last but not least, on paper, Pittsburgh should win the series. On paper, Pittsburgh should win the series, but the game is played on the ice and not on paper. Anything can happen, and oftentimes it does. You know, whatever you're expecting to happen, oftentimes that is not what happens. So we're at the point where it's a meaningful game. We're going to go back to a contest I was running during the season before it got canceled, and that's the hockey puck giveaway. So if let's see, I got one here. Yes, I do. So now this is important. This is going to be very important. Anybody watching this, the only way you're going to get entered is 2 ways. You can leave a comment to this video. If you're watching this on Facebook, leaving a comment on Facebook is not going to give you an entry. So I'm going to tell you that. Leave a comment on this video on YouTube with your score, the game score, and who scores Montreal's first goal. Not Pittsburgh's first goal, not the game's first goal necessarily, but Montreal's first goal. And I'm going to need both. The score of the game and the goal scorer. I need them both, not just one or the other, or you won't be entered. So you need that. You got to enter in the comment section or during the live stream. I'm going to be doing the live stream from 7:20 right through the end of the first period. During the game, the guesses are once the game starts, you're off. You got about an hour in the live stream to give me your score. I know it's tight and all that, but it gets too much. There's too many entries, and I can't track down the people. This way I can track down the winner. If there's a winner, it's not an easy thing to win, and you're going to win an emotional support hockey puck, rather like this. And yeah, so enter the contest, and that's it. Give a thumbs up if you like the video, and while you're down there doing that, leave me a comment about what I think about this game. Leave me a comment what you think about my thoughts on the game. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to, like I said, any of my comments are my thoughts here in the comment section down there. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, ring that notifications bell, and that's going to get you your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge right here at Talkin' Habs. So thanks everybody for watching. I so appreciate that. Please stay safe out there with the masks and all. I won't get into that. And that's it. Peace out, y'all. I'm going to see you at the live stream and next video. And I will be doing a review after the game.